mbona tunakulana bila condom?
Unaweza kula sweet na karatasi.
The right time and timely information out there. I mean, I might need information right now alone and you provide and
HIV started as a pandemic, a serious one for that. It reinforced stigma. It made people get discriminated for a mere chance of just being thin. Sasa na beta wa mande.
Ukiwa benten. It's happen.
Unaweza nyima kutembea kidogo uko nje pale.
I know that this will never go wrong. Like you already know.
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Being Bold Podcast. I'm joined with the very beautiful ladies today. On the 1st of December, as you might have already known, today is the International World AIDS Day, is it?
Yeah.
And we're so happy to have you here with us. We're just going to have a very formal, rather youthly discussion around things that affect us as the youth in terms of, in relation to AIDS, just to also commemorate the day. I'm going to give each and everyone a minute or two to introduce themselves and probably just say how they're feeling today. Yes.
What we had for breakfast.
Yeah.
So hi everyone, my name is Rita Anindo and again welcome to the Being Bold Podcast. Mimi nimepitia pale kwa ule mama nikanunua mandazi mbili.
So hi everyone, this is Judy Mwangi. What I had for breakfast, nimechukua chipo. I was complaining inflation manze. Nimepata chipo like I am hungry. I feel nimefraudiwa, but it's okay.
My name is Pamela Diambo. What I had for breakfast. Tumepitia kibanda guys. Tumepitia kibanda, tumekunywa chai na mandazi. Personally nimekula mandazi 4.
Wow.
Hey.
Msichana.
Funi.
I had 4 mandazis and
Beka 4.
They were 6. Hi everyone, my name is Lorraine Sakini. I'm part of the Being Bold Podcast and we're happy to be here. Today we're going to start with after Sandra introduces herself.
My name is Sandra. I'm happy to be here today. I think I was with some other 3 people. I don't know if they are here, but I ate 4 mandazis na kikombe ya chai yenye ijashika majani. Yes. Very fast. Yeah.
From that very brief round of introduction, I think we're going to simply move to our next agenda. Today is the World AIDS Day, and we are having this podcast to discuss the issues that we as the youth in Kenya specifically, and probably in Africa. Is there none of us who is not Kenyan?
Yeah.
Okay. To discuss the issues that we as the youth living in Kenya today face. We're also just going to talk about the stigma, the discrimination, as you might have already known, the theme of this year is equalize. Is it equalize?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that as well as we proceed. Again, I'm so happy to be the only guy in this podcast. And also we're looking forward to see your comments from the comment section, what you think, what your answers would be to these questions that we're asking. Also anything you want to inquire. And yes. Okay, as a young person, yes. Why do you think...
Very young person.
Okay. As a very young person, why do you think it's important to commemorate World AIDS Day?
So I think the reason why we celebrate the International World AIDS Day, and I'm reflecting at personal experience while I was growing up. The messages that were coming out in terms of HIV were ukisikia mtu akona tuwasikia baba huyu akona HIV ama huyu akona HIV and ungeona huyu mtu anapass. Over the time kumekuwa na decline. It's not an issue anymore.
Yeah.
We've had COVID, we've had other issues, but not to say it's not an issue, it's still an issue. So I think we commemorate World AIDS Day to look back, to reflect what strides have we made in ending the HIV epidemic. Some time back kulikuwa na UNAIDS targets 1990, targets za reduce stigma, reduce HIV transmission, increase adherence, all that. And now we made progress. So hii time yetu ku look back, how are we doing? Hapa jana niliona kwa news wakiongelea kumekuwa na 73% increase in new HIV infection. And over the years kumekuwa na decline. So again, what is not happening? Na pia
Okay.
so kumekuwa na an increase over the years, kumekuwa na decline, but now there's an increase in HIV infections. Now interestingly, inakuwa mentioned that increase ni between what were 15 to 29 years. Now being that niko kwa hiyo age cohort, I have had a lot of questions. Am I safe?
Yeah.
Na maybe Becca ajue ndio ule mwanaume. As a person,
Wow.
do you feel go say
Hey, the representative.
Okay, I think most of our questions will also just follow up from that very interesting statistics that people between 15 to 29 have the highest prevalence at the moment. And is there anyone who's above 29? I don't think there's anyone above 29 in this podcast.
Very young.
Yes.
16. No.
In fact, Lorena is 14 years old. And so you might
Well, HIV is one of the triple threats.
HIV triple threats ni pregnancies, GBV na HIV. Hata kuna hizo statistics za I think the WHO walirelease wakisema kulikuwa na 98 new HIV infections among teenagers.
Among teenagers.
Weekly.
98. What's a teenager's
last year?
Okay.
So for me, our celebration these days about inclusion, because I mean we celebrate ourselves probably. So we get to celebrate people living with HIV and AIDS because we are part of the society. We are part of what is going on because there's been a lot of stigma, stereotyping, and everything. So when we celebrate this day, we actually celebrate people who are positive and living with HIV.
And people who died when there was no treatment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be HIV positive because life has to continue. Like when we celebrate this day, it's like it's not the end of the road. We still have a life.
Yeah. True. And you're next.
Yeah.
Imagine your next family.
To me, today is a day we celebrate ourselves. Like Rita said, it's how far we have come. Like when we used to hear about HIV, AIDS, back in the day, it was
Rhythm songs.
when I was growing up, everywhere we used to take pictures as kids, there used to be like a poster or something about HIV, ukimwi or something. Like I feel like those days it was just being taken as such a big deal, and it's like we cannot associate with this. Yeah, it was a serious pandemic. Much a COVID.
The worst bit is your part watu wakiwa full blown. That's the
and very bad pictures. Very bad pictures. Yeah. So the mentality we used to have, like I feel like this is just a day to celebrate that we have come from far and we are able to live with this and not take it as something that I have HIV, I'm gonna die. I have HIV, I have a future. That is how we look at it nowadays. So for me, it's a day where we celebrate and we also get to learn about
HIV and AIDS, and just create awareness to the people who also don't know that this is something that we can have and still have a life, and it's something manageable. It's not a death sentence. Yeah.
So for me, International World AIDS Day. What are we without history?
Yeah.
We've come from far. You started as a baby to where you are right now. HIV started as a pandemic, a serious one for that. It reinforced stigma. It made people get discriminated for a mere chance of just being thin.
Yeah.
Just thin. You're just thin. And the neighbors are like,
I don't understand why Kenyans relates to
it is because of the advertisements in relation to HIV. When people were trying to understand HIV, when the infections were new, there were no treatment, no therapy. They were still trying to work through the technology of the treatment and management of HIV. So they used to portray images of thin people, probably people how they appear in stage 4 when not receiving therapy. So thin people are associated with sickly or HIV infections. So we've come from far. Speaking for thin people. And also, where we are as people, like we can evaluate and see where we've come from. Wait not for the statistics, for the history, for the data, for the people who died or suffered as a result of the new infections, the people who suffered as a result of stigma, the people who suffered as a result of not receiving treatment, not having access to the treatment, not being able to speak about the infection. They are the statistics we are today. We are here because of those people. We are here because of people who have lived with HIV up to now, people who have been affected despite not testing positive for the same, and that is why there is need to have a World AIDS Day. Sandra.
For me, I'll just add to what Lorena said. Looking back, kitambo tukiwa home kwa hood. Remember ukisikia mtu akona ukimwi, wacha hata AIDS. By the way, it sounds so bad.
It sounds so bad to say.
Ukimwi ati mama ya nani akona ukimwi. You know, it was so bad to a point that ungeshika hata kikombe yenye mtu wako na ukimwi ameshika. Nitashikwa na ukimwi nikitumia kikombe yake. Nakatazwa kucheza na wao. You see, such things. Then another thing, hata when they used to pass away, that time mkizika mtu wako na ukimwi, they never used to say it was ukimwi. They tell you something like alikufa na meningitis. You know, the stigma was so bad. Kama sijui aligongwa na gari, ukikonda tena pia ndio hiyo. So if I'm sick now, for example, tuseme nimegonjeka kidogo tu lose a few pounds, Muliona Sandy vile amekonda, aki yako na ukimwi. You see, such things. And I think it's only fair for us to celebrate because we've moved away from that. Now people who have HIV, people who have ukimwi now have a sense of belonging. And that is a great milestone for us. And I think we are moving to greater strides. Yes, this is just the beginning. I believe it will continue being better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's been a lot of stigma and discrimination based on HIV, and the milestones that we've made, it's quite a lot. And today, what I'm looking forward to is just to normalize ourselves. Just the fact that we live with HIV, it means that we've had quite a lot to do on the ground and to get to this step. And we also just celebrate the people that might have passed away from having HIV and AIDS. And today is just a day. It's a day to celebrate. It's a day to celebrate the step that we've made, and also just look at what we've conquered and where we're headed for. To just see how what we might also do to evade the stigma and the discrimination that comes with HIV and AIDS.
Yeah.
I have one question to ask. From what I'm getting from all of us is that at least we've had this stigma, like discrimination. You've at least seen one person who like had people speak negatively about people who live with HIV and AIDS. So I just want to ask, do we have like a personal story that you could probably just tell? You can tell in relation to this, and just how do you think is the best way to evade that stigma? What can we do as a society to help other people who still promote this negative talks about people living with HIV and AIDS? Yeah.
I can go.
You can go for it.
Yeah, I think when Lorraine mentioned about thin people being associated with HIV, I I remember there was a time when we were kids. I think I was in class 1, and I used to have a friend who was like 3 years older than me. She was like my best friend, and one day we were sent to the shop, and I was standing next to someone. I don't want to profile them as thin, but yes, they were looking thin. And my friend came and like grabbed me, kaniambia kuja hapa. Umesimama kando ya mtu ako na ukimwi. And in my head I was like, I was so confused because I didn't know, like, how do you know? Like, that is the question I asked. How do you know mtu ako na ukimwi? And then she told me, uoni vile amekonda. So in my head, I started avoiding, like, that was the ideation that was put in my head, that thin people have HIV. And now, when I look back, I feel like if we were educated a little bit more, like hivi kidogo, cause unapata hizo ni rumors alikuwa tu ana spread. Na pia mimi nilienda nika spread hiyo rumors. Nilienda nika spread hiyo rumors shule. So as much as tunasema watoto wadogo hawajui hizi vitu, as young as I was, as young as we were, we had these stories, and the ideation yenye tulikuwa tunawekewa kwa kichwa is what was sticking. So I feel like the more we educate ourselves, the more we educate the families, even kids. Do not underestimate kids. Our watoto wanajua vitu. So if you just tell them, teach them about these things so that we avoid these issues. Ule ako, yeah.
I observe a lot of labeling even now. Even when it's hivi wadogo, young people, you will notice that mtu atakwambia usikuwe na ule juu akona ama uwezi date ule mzee juu huyu mtu akona HIV. So there's a lot of labeling. And for instance, even ourselves, at some point I think kuna labels. I have been labeled myself when I was young, especially. So I think kuna labeling sana, even at the level of health facilities, where utaambiwa ile side ya watu wenye wanakuwa na HIV, though it's not told na nguvu, but kuna a lot of labeling. And that is, tukiingilia youth friendly services, some of these components ni HIV prevention, care and treatment, but you still see in such spaces, even in school for instance, kuna mtu beba dawa. We've had people maybe kwa dialogues zile tunakuwa nazo, mtu beba dawa na anakuwa labeled na hizo dawa, time ya kusachiwa shule. So I would say I have observed labeling related to people with or living with HIV.
I think I have also like a different perspective because a friend of mine like recently shared is a guy that he went, like we shared these intimate stories. And like, hey, unajua nilienda kusmash dem fulani. But before like we got to that, but you know what, I'm living like positively. So these are like a different perspective when it comes to EBIs, like evidence-based information. Like people already living with HIV and AIDS are like giving out the information to someone, like intentionally, like before you even go, like we head there.
Yeah.
You know, but this is not like for everyone. This is for someone who like have already accepted themselves, and this is part of the progress that we are celebrating today. So, and I felt like Kamali Kwambia, this is a person who's genuine, because at the end of the day, when we are celebrating this, we are looking at discordant campus also, you know, like this is a decision. Like before you even come to me, Nakwambia, hey, I'm positive. How do you take this? So this is part of the discussion when it comes to awareness creation and everything. So which is part of the celebratory that we have today to like take. Hi.
What is the state of HIV epidemic in Kenya? Rita, I think you already just briefed us on what the state is. As you see, the prevalence between 15 to 29 is high. And so how I'm going to address this question is why do you think this is the state?
Me, my question would be, mbona tunakulana bila condom?
Unaweza kula sweet na karatasi.
There's that.
Mimi kuna reaction nikitumia condom.
There are some people who say, oh, I'm allergic to
Yeah.
They want to eat their sweets without the
Condom
peppers.
ndo bwana kichwa sasa.
Sikia sasa.
For real. I was expecting to say latex.
Okay, I think I'll just give my perspective as a guy.
Yeah.
But before I do that,
Why don't
Lorraine,
you start?
Start with you.
Do you know why I'm saying Lorraine? Because the other question you guys didn't do.
Yes, Rita?
Please tell us why you're not using a condom.
First of all,
Why are you not using
how much is the condom, Lorraine?
I don't know. I get them for free. Our office had dispenses condoms for free. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you think young people are not using condoms?
I think, first of all, from my personal opinion, people are choosy. Some people don't like the government issued condoms.
Zinapasuka. Have you used Sure before?
Wewe tuambie.
Sasa siwe ndo utuambie as we don't know.
Mimi, and I don't use Sure, but zinapasuka.
Actually, I've had people who say they prefer that. So I think it's a matter of preference.
Na pia usage, people don't know how to use condoms.
Yeah.
They just assume they do. They're just they're trying to show each other that, you know me, I'm confident, I know this. Instead of just speaking to your partner and explaining, you just want to look really cool and informed, where you can actually get real information and be actually informed. So, and different aspect is people feel like not using condoms is better.
It's cool.
Pleasurable. It's more pleasurable when it comes to the intimacy. I doubt that.
Psychologists.
As a 14-year-old, I wouldn't.
Plus, there are condoms that are like super cheap. You can't even tell that.
We need
actually-
to pour water in condom because condom unaona kibuyu ya 5 liters ukimwaga maji
It holds.
it can actually hold that
Alafu you tell us that it is too big.
so there's no way tutasema because hakuna mtu akona mtungi
Kama hiyo.
hakuna mtu
Kawaida mwenye ako nayo.
it's just I feel like ni sort of what wamealign it's been tu umesema ni psychological na pia kuna lot of myths
Street cred. Okay, here's my perspective as a guy.
Tell us.
Kama, okay, this is what the streets apparently say. If I hit, nikipewa na nitumie CD na mwingine apewe raw, huyu msema amepewa raw kuna street cred. Go do. Unaona? You feel like that girl trusted you more. And okay, but anyway, that is
no it's fine it's fine.
That's
so
weird.
yeah, it's weird.
But I think
But I would
It's
really, honestly speaking.
If you're a guy and I'm a guy and you're smashing the same bed,
Yes.
and that chile gives anipatie bila na upewe na CD. Nani akona street cred?
No, I don't know.
Mimi bro.
Okay.
let's change it to Monday. if a guy prefers to use a condom with you, would you feel like ni trust? Kwani ni trust, especially if you like them?
In fact, I'll be so happy.
Really.
Like, at least we are not getting pregnant. At least you're protecting us from diseases. I mean,
So how do you know?
I have a different perspective because I expect that I'm able to negotiate on my own behalf. Like, do we like use a condom? Do we not? That is the main aspect. I mean, you have to like agree. It's not agree like to use condom. Agree kama we are not.
As long as it is two consenting adults.
You know, like I do like a lot of sensitization on HIV, so I'm able to like carry condoms on my own. So I am looking at a position where I've like told girls out there, you know, guys, ni sawa ukibeba condom ni sawa, but them akibeba they're like, can you them need lose? No, I mean, so if you can tell us maybe if I came at your place, I'm
people with, you know, when you
just wake up in the morning and start putting condoms.
I know. I
have like a whole bomb.
Yes. So that when someone,
you see why the labeling there is because someone may look at it from this perspective. You already prepared. Miss Kusho, but you don't have to know.
Because I feel like most people, when they explain their stories of how they contracted an STI, UTI, they're like, it just happened, we were chilling.
Let me tell you. Yes.
One thing will lead to my handbag. Yes. Condom.
Yes. Imagine you can't no.
You want my handbag right now.
No, Becca, look at it from this perspective. You cannot just call someone and be like, hi, I'm coming with Smash.
God, you didn't know.
No. Of course. That's what she's saying.
Miss can expect quit.
Even she now expectation. I was expecting
the issue is yeye akiwa na condom hakuna issue.
You guys can unaweza na washo kubai condom na
vizuri sana.
Which show?
Actually tunapata via facility.
Basi mbona mtembei na condom ya madem jumi sijete?
Because if you feel like the male condom is not sufficient enough for you, we can organize how you will get the female condom.
I feel like honestly, if I know when mamioto comes, it is usually like here and here, you know. And for a female condom, you have to put it on like 20 minutes. Relax.
You're getting bags. It is easier to work with a male condom.
Listen, let me finish my point.
Okay.
It is easier. Of course it's a matter of preference, but it is easier because the fire comes and the desire and the lust comes at that time. It is easier for me taking a condom, just put it on my guy, and instead of me putting on a condom and then I tell you wait for like 20 minutes, it's not going to make sense.
Nacho naambia ukweli guys. Akonanga mda anajua kanaenda kuhit. You know, especially as a guy. Okay, unaweza kuwa unajua, but most of the people don't know.
Speculate.
But
speculation is enough reason for me to carry.
Yes.
Speculation is
That's why you take life insurance. That's why you take medical insurance.
Ni bebe kono malafu ni.
It is insurance because you have a medical cover. You don't say you are going to get.
Ni bebe kono nikanyimwa.
That statement is very strong because you should be able to accept that amekata.
Yes.
Okay.
But when ukibeba condom shida kama uko sure kama you will give it to me, it is a problem.
Utasema ni mlose, ametoka kwingine, lakini condom alafu anakuja.
But wewe ukibeba it is a topic of discussion. Oh my goodness.
Economically. Condom ni chwani.
Ilifika 50.
Si sure.
Unategemea.
Kuna so. Imagine tumesema hapa alafu nyimwe.
Na si utachukua inaoza. Si kwani inaoza sasa hiyo?
Si hivyo. Anyway, so guys, these are some of the issues that I believe many men face out there. But one thing I'd love to bring into attention is one, consent. Atubebe kondom ngapi na unyimwe. If you go ahead and drop this person, then unaenda kulala ndani with you. Na kama miti ni kubaya, afadhali tu unyimwe. So it's very important to have that consent. Uulize person X, are you ready to engage in
Get down.
coitus? Na pia ujue anaweza kubali alafu ukishatoa nguo akatae bado tu
We are allowed to change our mind.
they're allowed to change their mind and also you
Applicable
as
to
well
both sides.
applicable to both sides. Maybe akimuuliza nikatae normal. So the second thing I also love to bring into attention is self-care. Dem akibeba CD, you shouldn't judge them. Yeah. Kila mtu amekubaliwa kubeba CD. Abebe CD ya madem, abebe CD ya maboy. Avae CD yake 30 minutes before. You shouldn't judge anyone. You're allowed. In fact, it's self-care. Utembeange tu nayo. Uwezi jua kwa nitendo upewe.
Yes.
Things happen.
Unaweza nyima kutembea kidogo ukaenza upewe. Yeah, I think these are some of the steps that these are some of the revolutions that we're seeing. Kitambo ilikuwa tu msekte dema kitema na condom hatutaki wewe unatembea.
Sai hata unafaa furahi because that lady is also looking after you. Looking out for you because probably attacking unprotected sex to unintended pregnancies, infections, HIV. So you should also look at this lady and be like, damn.
In fact, it should be a turn on.
Yes. In fact, yes.
Since we are tested and we both know our status and I trust you, I think today we can just go raw.
Come on, Taki, guys. If you as a man do not want,
na by the way acha niambie moja history ya kuuliza msee ati uko positive ama uko negative alafu anakwambia niko negative.
I trust you.
I think you can talk about self care. Kuna nini unaweza jipima?
You can self test.
Beba self test yako kwa wallet, unaweza tosha kwa wallet.
I know. But you can just go to the pharmacy.
Kama kuna kwa pharmacy inaweza kwa issues zingine. So like
contact nenda na binti.
Yes.
0800 we will supply.
Na mtu
nenda na binti ni anonymous so and confidential. So I won't even know.
My question is tushaingia kwa bedroom. Tushatoa nguo.
Condomize.
Alafu niulize person X uko na ukedi ama hauna.
Alafu akwambia
alafu you get mimi niko safe. Alafu get
but I think that's what
you know happen
but pia when we look
I'm not even ask after nimeshafanya vitu zangu nikanini alafu na
why do you wait for that time?
Because that is what happens like the way most
if you know you're going to smash exactly chukua prep basi chukua unajua next week nina an appointment
chukua na domo kutana tu no share kwa club
kuna hiyo situation unajua niko na appointment
ama Unajua kwa hiyo situation pia unaweza ukiondokea unaenda unachukua ukiondokea
supposed to abuse it. Alafu unafaa umeze consistent.
Usipomaliza
maneno wiki moja
bado utapata. Bado utapata.
Unajua saa hii kuna innovation, kuna the pivoting ring. So but it's for women. Na unaweza jiekea and you're protected which is a very in a release. So I think I would say tuna make progress. Tumekuwa na challenges, there is positive progress. Kuna prep, so kuna actually options. Vitu zipo, unatumia condom, unatumia prep, unatumia the pivoting ring.
The goal is before when I'm say doesn't make sure mtu status yake. Hata wengi wetu atujuangi status za mse, tunapigana tu probabilities. Inaweza make
anakaa kwa unaona kuna muscles.
I think that's also something to think about the big
Naomba like brain.
Sisha happens like Holy Ghost. You know something like that, because like you're just married. Just call
ile tunapoanza tukiwa na pregnancy scare.
kuomba.
But anyway,
so ndio maana hii story pia ni poa tukichanganya na mambo ya contraception.
I know.
Ile time we kuna the pivoting ring, but it could protect from pregnancy. Adi prep. Na get protect. So watu tu wacheze safe. Cheza safe.
I mean, condom is the best because ina miba tumepiga, ugonjwa tumepiga. The problem is consistency. Correct. Msichape round 1 na condom round 2.
But mimi
na usitoe condom katikati pia. Kuna wale
wako hiyo tabia
out the condom
and your partner doesn't know.
Kuna ingine wanajua. Kuna wengine anaanza kusema asikii kani tamu anatoa in the middle.
Okay, but then what happens to the one mwenye anatoa condom na midem wake? Walishafunga lights. So the one is wanayama anatoa condom.
That one is not allowed. That is not allowed. That is bad.
So what happens? Because I know that people know.
I know.
Me actually this is
intentionally
my own condom.
You have to
I'm
because una trust condom zako. So unajua source ya condom. Sasa mwingine amekuja na labda alikuwa shatoboa.
Acha ametoa tu.
Kuna dobe
tana naye.
What's up with my mbaya tu.
Wanaume hili
itakuwa pia kuna fanya na wanaume kwa yao. Hata wale.
Nataka waseme.
Usifanye pia women.
Na realize vile tunaongea, Beka akiongea anasema wanaume mmesikia, maybe ambaye akiongea nasikia madem tunakuwa hivi. So kuna aspect ya inequalities kwa mambo ya HIV prevention, and hata ukiangalia prevalence madem wana lead in terms of
6.6%. That is twice the number.
Which in a way is the problem really care? Is it prevention? How is this? How is inequality contributing to story ya HIV prevalence na history yote? Maybe we can have that conversation.
Availability of the female condoms, because I realize they are not readily available. I can't just walk up to a pharmacy.
And they're expensive.
And they're expensive. So siwezi enda na nipatane tu na female condom, as opposed to how easy it is to access the male condoms. They are dispensed in the toilets, workplace. But it's very rare. Most of the people have never even seen a female condom.
So how? You've never seen it. You don't know how to use it. So
you don't know how to use it. So I can't access it. So in a contribute towards the inequality, because like probably if this my guy does not feel like wearing a condom, I can do it and will still be safe, but I don't know it's there, or I don't know how to use it. So it just contributes towards us leading to unprotected sex, because hataki na mimi sitaki kuachwa naenda, you know, stuff like that.
Well, so for me, I'm thinking when it comes to money and power play, because you find economically like men are doing better, So like when it comes to us as women and young adolescent girls, negotiating for like condom use, negotiating for other terms when it comes to sex, inakuwa too difficult. Tunapata kila mtu akona mbabas. Unaenda japo utabeje mwambia ati by the way
that is,
you know,
is that a patriarchal thing?
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who supposedly make the decisions.
Exactly.
Tunatumia condom leo.
Lakini utaambiaje sponyo
Ati
na
unajua after that uko na 20,000.
Yeah, there's a lot of transactional sex and you don't have the power to
negotiate.
What? Hey,
Kwa hiyo ana decide kama leo ni dry fry.
Sasa na better wa mande.
Ukiwa
men also
you also negotiate ama akisema hivyo ni
akisema nimekununulia.
What she say is I think the money really plays in both.
Two ways.
Provide if your mamas akuna hiyo domo, but that is what you want. Mimi naenda hapo nikijua kitu nataka ni do. So ukiambiwa kaa hapa chini,
hakuna
you don't have power to negotiate. Maybe tu mbele tu sana uzunguka hapa ukimbia ukiwa but I don't need to get that money at the end of the
Goal is to get the money.
Yeah. So actually, during the period of COVID-19, when it first started, I think that is when transactional sex was because people didn't have money. People didn't have money. I'm going into there's a lot of unemployment. Yeah. So if I'm going to that, if naenda kwa baba zangu au kwa mamas akiniambia atutumii condom.
And even in the spirit of 16 days of activism, at a job, unaambiwa to get that promotion, my dear.
Thank you.
Hey,
Get that
for guys.
Mass for grade.
Oh, yeah. Wow,
you are very passionate.
I'm very passionate about that, baby, and I feel like there's so much that should be done in relation to that. Personally, I have so many friends who've been through that
experience.
Sex for grades, and there's nothing you can do because your lecturer has so much power. And these people in these topmost offices, they're given so much power. Like, why would you be the same person managing my grades? Why would you be the same person to post my grades? Why would you be the same person to choose whether I can have a retake or not? Why would you be the same person who denies me access to my paper to see if I even had grades in the first place? So I'm left helpless. Someone is in first year trying to register their units, but your director wants you to you try to negotiate, you try to tell this person that I want this to be professional, but they don't want to listen to that story. Now they cut you off, but this is the same person that should go to when you don't have marks. I feel like these are some of the gaps that we should create, because at the end of the day, they're also the same people who end up spreading
But we need to look at interventions targeting young people because kuna trends. I don't know kama siku za mama zetu kulikuwa na transactional sex, but sasa hivi kama tumenormalize tu mama sex for grades. Niliona juzi kuna jana kwa TikTok msee kuna katoi, they are very powerful. This girl will be an advocate. Walikuwa na protest against their teachers harassing them. And I was looking at the comment section. Alafu watu wanasema huyu akifika campus atapeana. So a lot of people were saying that huyu akifika campus atapeana. And I'm like, we should be celebrating this. Imagine, this is like I think one from one, but everyone else is like, hey, campus atapeana.
Because we normalized
because it's a normal period. So I feel like maybe interventions can be, we need to look at SGBV interventions. How do we tailor-made them to suit the needs of young people? To squeeze, yes, kuna wale watu na have sex na watu wanatoshana, but Sai maybe it's different, it's not that way kuna few. So maybe we might need to tailor make the new campus. Can intervention address some of these sex for grades?
So,
Reporting mechanism at workplace. Can we have reporting mechanism policies at workplace that will promote equity and equality in healthcare and justice for people who
I love how we eradicate your absolute power when it comes to health and grade.
There's
They
so
just
much
come up with a system that si mtu mmoja pekee atadetermine grade yako. Ilikuwa inamakiwa hii campus, inamakiwa hii campus, grades zinarudishwa. Utawahi jua lecturer nani alimark, nani alifanya hii. I have no power to kukuangusha, kukupitisha. You will get what you deserve.
Now reporting mechanism. How
I think that is the major issue. Where do I report?
Offices are my leg first of all.
Where do I report?
Yeah, we need to have somewhere you can report and action can be taken. No, in campus.
There are, but like.
But the
person you have the power.
The person you are reporting to is the person who is violating.
Mostly leverage inakuanga kupitishwa. Marking is shift walete degrees. Hii inamakiwa huku inamakiwa.
There's a lot of intervention that should be done in campuses.
Mimi nakufunza tu. Like that is the far.
You don't have
our interaction, personal interaction goes. Oh, if you last over me, if I last over you.
Yeah, that's
like sina anything holding over my head that will force me or intimidate or pressure me into doing one or two things. Let it be consensual. And most people in campus are adults. Let me consent when I'm
if I want.
But do you guys think it's okay? It's okay to like have an intimate relationship with your lecturer or your
inaweza kuwa ni wrong, yes,
but we are
in a mix profession na academic na nini na social. So inaweza kuwa ni wrong, but it can happen.
You are holding something over. The independence of the exams from the lecturers and the students. Like hakuna mali tunapatania. Ukishanifunza ni hivyo. Someone else, maybe even a female lecturer or someone who has never even seen me is responsible for awarding me the marks and updating them. So exactly utaija yani alikumakia ile just mapepa yako ile just
mazile. And now that we're talking about students, do you think now that Rita mentioned your story, the Form 1 who was speaking against what the teachers are doing, in terms of the laws, I feel like law inakwanga inaona imeprotect watoto sana, which is a good thing, but sometimes we feel like we are protecting them, but tunawanyima hii information to an extent that instead of them being protected, wanna miss out on that information, and by the time wanatoka shule they don't have information.
So informed protection kuna restricted.
Right? It comes in the aspect of inequalities in terms of the rights and timely information out there. Because I mean, I might need information right now alone and you provide it.
Because like issue inakwanga your time, like this is the time these adolescents need this information the most. Like unaambiwa watafunzwa 4 years from now.
Ati ni watoto hawafai kujua. I think, and you see they still have sex among
in fact, just based on the statistics, you say the prevalence is between the highest prevalence is between 15 to
19.
And even people younger than 15
10 to 19 na pia 15.
So who's cheating who, honestly? Who's cheating who?
This
intervention, Ministry of Education, I speak to Ministry of Health.
And I feel like we should remove like tutoe values zetu from here and deal with the statistics. What is happening? Vitu ziko kwa ground. Hata saa zingine data watu cook. Nini iko kwa ground?
Statistics. Data.
You know, sometimes when I feel like statistics tukieka 5,000 people suffer, it becomes a statistic. But sometimes you might need to narrow this to one person.
Yeah, to an
What does
experience.
this mean to this
To this
person
one
mwenye
individual.
amepata ball, mwenye anakuwa harassed, their like lived experience.
Na sababu pia having the information does not necessarily mean that you practice the act.
Exactly.
In as much as you are interceding on behalf of probably people who may want or may need to have sex at an early age, una wale who won't.
Yeah.
But the information is still there.
Very important. It will be applicable when they.
It's good to mention like ukiwa na information it's about choices, you know.
Yeah.
Like hiyo ndio tunafaa ku spread out there. Like as long as I have the information, it doesn't mean the same way you say I'll use it, but I know I have choices.
Yeah.
Like I know at the end of the day I'll be able to negotiate.
If you decide to do something on the contrary, it's an informed decision. I'm not doing it from a point of what I don't know. I'm doing it from a point of it's a decision that I made.
Yeah. Ulifunza kupika pilau leo. Haimaanishi utakuwa unapika kila siku ama utaipika hata labda siku kwenye uko ready, siku kwenye
Haimaanishi hata utapika.
hata udingie. Exactly. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fruitful discussion. It's been heated. And remember, we're still celebrating World AIDS Day
And 16
days of activism. And probably just give anyone a chance to also mention what do you mean by 16 days of activism? And how is it correlated with HIV and AIDS? We've talked about consent. We've talked about GBV. We've talked about AIDS. We've talked about so many things, and I feel like information, like we've said, if you have information, then you have now you won't do things from a point of ignorance, but you do things from a point of it's an informed decision that you're making. So we want to give you, the youth, as much information as possible, so that you don't end up on the wrong side of the law, especially in terms of GBV. You know, you might end up doing something not knowing, but if you have the information that you have a choice.
So thank you all for joining us today, and thank you to our moderator Baker, a man in the room, for representing the voices of men and also for championing for issues of women and girls in the diversity. Manze, inequality is real, but we call upon the government, stakeholders, and every other person, CSO, to come in. We cannot end inequalities when we work in silos. Inequalities can be ended when you harmonize all our efforts, because we cannot continue with this thread. We've made strides to ending HIV and AIDS, but now 73% Manze, we are not doing well. Feel free to like, to comment, and share this video. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.